So last September, I was afforded the rare opportunity to actually go inside the Bodie Hotel and take a look around. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to film, but here's a slideshow of some of the pictures and a rare view of the interior. We entered through the kitchen here. You can see there's the Wedgwood stove, pans and pots still sitting on it, just as when it was in use. You can see a poker hanging on the side of the wall there. Beautiful tin siding all throughout this kitchen here, just really neat. The tall cylinder riveted in the back, that's a boiler that would have been routed through the wood-burning stove for hot water. Here's a little workstation that's sort of in the middle of the kitchen. Panning around, more bits and pieces, just things sort of strewn about as they were used. This is a look sort of at the ceiling and the electrical work, things that are sitting up there. Little design and architectural things I find very interesting. Here's some baking pans, a lunchbox, another pressure cooker. And that's looking out onto, I believe, not Main Street, but Green Street, I think. A lot of pressure cookers around here. I think they were using that for stews and whatnot. And this is a wood-burning stove, wood or coal, Wedgwood range here. There's a little doorway here, and we'll loop around and get a shot going from the other way. Little bits of ketchup bottles and such. Looking at the ceiling and around the kitchen area, it looks like it was modified multiple times during the life of Bodie, so to speak. Yeah, there's a vent hole in the ceiling you can see there where the stove was probably against that back wall. An interesting look at the wash basin here. It's actually a wooden basin. It's not porcelain, not metal, actual wood. I'm not sure exactly how they had it sealed, but apparently they were using it for dishes. Lone light bulb just hanging there. And this was a little sort of amplifier or receiver. We weren't sure what it was doing in the kitchen, but it was sitting in there. More bits and pieces. Here's a Sunbeam iron, and they're still in business today. Going into the main dining hall here, here's two wicked kerosene lamps. You can see the main bar there with the beautiful mirror on it. Sort of panning around here. Main Street is right out the front windows there. You see the beautiful pool table. There's still pool sticks just waiting for a game almost. And then the main long dining table right along the side there. Sorry the photos are a little dark. These were taken towards the evening time, so lighting was a bit of an unpredictable thing. There's a little sitting area here towards the front where guests may have rested after their long travels. Another look out towards the main street there. Here's looking behind the bar. There's also this beautiful wood-burning stove just right center on the whole dining hall or entrance hall area. It was a really ornate room for the time, and very spacious as well. Little bar stool sitting at the bar. Another look at that sitting area and couch. An old pair of snowshoes and skis sitting in the front bay window there. This bay window had a lot more miscellaneous artifacts. A closer look at that painting or picture on the wall. Here's a rotary switch down on the floor. I'll show one in action. That's sort of how they work. Here's a look at the pool table with carved lion heads as the feet. And the manufacturer tag says Brunswick Bulk Colander Company. Here's looking at the mirror above the bar again. And we're going to go through this doorway in just a second. That leads more to the hotel section. Another look at the kitchen. Here's a chair and a door, just kind of sitting strewn about. Have to look down the dining table. Here's a central chimney for each of the rooms. And this is looking down the hall towards the front desk for the hotel. This is one of the rooms. It's got a part of a carriage in there. And here's the front desk, looking out on a main street. Two more rotary switches. The rotary switches were often put in odd places to make it convenient for running the electrical. So that's why they're strewn about. Bodie Hotel, meals at all hours. Here's a look at the patch board for the phone system in town, and for the hotel, of course. Another closer look at the patch board. There's a safe in the corner there. Looks like it has a wood finish, but it's actually made out of metal, and they sort of gave it that faux wood look. Here's the front desk. And there's a book in the drawer here. I tried to get a closer view of it. We weren't supposed to disturb anything, so I couldn't open the drawer more to take a look at it. It says Standards of Values. Here's a look at the typewriter, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's a Smith Premier typewriter. Here's looking through all the various rooms. Coats and clothing still hanging. It's almost as if people just got up and left all their worldly possessions still sitting there. A little wash basin by the bed. And each room seemed like it had a wood-burning stove. Winters in Bodie were very cold, so these were really the main source of heat to keep from freezing to death. Interestingly enough, each room only had a partition wall, so you could actually throw stuff over into the room if you wanted. This bedroom in particular happened to have 3 beds, so either for a small family or if people wanted to share, I suppose. Coat hangers along the wall there. And still some trunks, remains of a sign. This room's a bit of a mess. A little sitting chair there. Laura Scudder's potato chips. I suspect that box is a little newer than most of the stuff around here. This room was pretty nice. Had a little nightstand and a door that actually led into a adjoining room. So again, if it was a family or you wanted to have a shared room, it's looking out into Bodie again. This is looking down the hall into the hotel, and we'll go down the end of that. Beautiful porcelain knob here. And this is looking into that adjoining room. Again, wood-burning stove, bed, trunk, and nightstand. All the fixings that you would need for a stay in Bodie. So at the end of the hall, it goes into this sort of workshop space, which was crammed with a ton of appliances, engines, sort of things taken from Bodie and stored here for protection so that people don't damage them and the elements don't destroy them. This is going into the General Electric room, which was a sort of step-down transformer room for all of the town's electricity. Very, very cool room. Massive transformers in here. This is actually an acetylene generator right here. So I think you'd load it with carbide, and using the various knobs and stuff, you can control the flow. There's another look at the nameplate there. 3 rose clip mine transformers here, one for each leg of the 3-phase that would have been coming into town. So just absolutely massive. Lots of motors, pumps, rotary converters, all just sitting on the ground here. You can see a couple of different pumps, some very old motors in the corner there. Electrical boxes, rheostats, you name it. It was all sitting in this room here. Another look at that acetylene generator. And that motor in the corner, that's a very, very old motor. Easily much older than all the rest. This is also an old motor, but probably around turn of the century. It's a Westinghouse, 3-phase motor, of course. This is a pump. As you can see, the motor drives through to the pump section there. This is a 2-man drill sitting upside down. You can see the mounting plate. Another look at that pump. There's a ore cart sitting right behind it there. And all those long columns there, those are actually drill columns sitting on the ground there. Another look at the transformers. And these smaller transformers to the right here, those would have been hung on the power poles throughout town, but they've been taken down for protection so that people don't steal them and they don't accidentally fall off in snowstorms and such. Here's looking towards the switchboard and power meter. And you can see the three-phase leads coming into the building. And here's a little sub-panel that supplied the Bodie Hotel. The main drop coming in here, power meter.
Oh, it actually is.
Yeah, and then they got the three-phase. It looks like each phase has its own switch. But look at, it's on a marble slab, polished marble. And then they got three. So it's almost as if each phase had its own step-down transformer. And then they got all these rheostats and oh, okay, so all these guys in the middle here, those are all drill columns. So what they do is when they were in the passages, they'd wedge those against the floor in the back, and those would hold the drills as they drilled for dynamite. Oh, this is so cool. Westinghouse. The length on some of these drill columns is just incredible. Oh, more drills. More cart. This is so cool. Just a tiny bit more. There's so much stuff in here.
I don't know what happened to this. It's got the label on it. What is it? Because it says so.
Well, a lot of it, there's a lot of motors.
Yeah, a lot of this is just stuff that was scrapped from elsewhere, and they just, oh, let's just put all the electrical stuff.
There was just an absolute ton of stuff to see, just sort of packed in here. Could have easily spent days and days just looking through all the different artifacts. You could see an engine there, I think a straight 6, head gaskets, boxes all over the place. There were multiple refrigerators in here, stoves, baling wire, chairs, everything imaginable, just sort of all over the place. And we did a fairly quick walkthrough, but there's a lot to see inside this building here. There's looking out onto Green Street again. And here's looking, again, just more stuff, old boxes, and there's a bit of a furnace there. There's another little back room almost built inside this building, sort of in the back there, a little workbench. There's a closer look at that engine there. Here's that furnace, looking at the face of it right there. Another little wood burning stove, some chairs, tire. I think this was a display cabinet or china cabinet from one of the buildings. Again, just chairs galore. Here's one of the refrigerators that was sitting in there. And you can see a couple more wood burning stoves in the background, electric heaters, lots of insulators from the poles that they're now gone, but these were saved inside this building. Lots of electric heaters, gas heaters, even wood burning. There's that little room in the background, which is kind of odd that it was its own little structure. Chairs and such hung from the ceiling. And it's odd the way that they supported this building. I think it was a brick building originally, and they put that wood scaffolding or sort of wood framing to try and support it. You can see a little gas stove here as well. Alright, so now we're backing out of the room. The doorway up ahead there that you see, that led to the power room. There's another upright wood burning stove. And now we're in a sort of central, I guess, storage pantry, so to speak. This is in the very center of the Bodie Hotel. The doorway right in front leads to the hallway that heads to the front desk of the Bodie Hotel. And a lot of the shelves were pretty empty throughout this area. I guess things had been used or sent elsewhere. This is looking into that hallway. So you can see on the left, that hallway continues forward into the hotel section. Here's the restroom for the hotel. A bathtub, toilet, and a single sink. A little bit of a better look here. And it was pretty dark in this section of the hotel. From what I could see of the original lighting, it was only a few light bulbs, so it would have been perpetually dark back here. Single toilet there for the entire of the hotel. Here's another look at that wash sink. And the faucet appears to be missing. You could still see the supply lines for it there. This is in the back area, and you could see the brick wall there that had the scaffolding on both sides. Again, another little walled off room. I wasn't exactly sure what this was being used for. There's a futon sort of strewn in there. Lots of boxes, file cabinets, or miscellaneous things that just happen to get stored there throughout the years. Here's walking down that side hallway. If you look at the building from the outside, you could see this sort of protrusion, and there was a little bed there. This may have been servants' quarters, or perhaps the owner of the hotel stayed back here. That way the rooms were kept vacant up front. It's definitely a little addition, sort of slapped right onto the side of the building there. Yeah, here's looking back towards the hallway and that center storage pantry. Very tall ceilings in this section here. So now we're back in that storage pantry looking towards that large storage room. And just sort of panning around here. Just sort of glancing at the shelves here with all the various bottles, very antique bottles on them. These are containers that used to hold quicksilver or mercury. Actually, they might still have some in them. Looking at the assay office here and lab, you can see a little wash basin in the corner there for laundry. Various beakers and flasks. Yeah, just various chemistry equipment here. There's a little hand sink, scale on the floor for weighing out minerals and stuff. This is where some of the samples would have been taken and then processed to figure out if certain drifts or passages in the mine were worth working. You can see a lot of crucibles, lying around, glass bottles. We were very careful not to touch anything throughout here because a lot of these chemicals can be extremely toxic. These are from back in the good old days when they'd put stuff that would kill you in just any bottle and no skull or crossbones on them. There's a little Bunsen burner and a stand. Lots of bottles and weights on the floor there. More bottles up on the wall here. Couldn't quite make out what a lot of the labels were. And this was a side room right off of the assay lab, which seems like the assayer might have stayed in this room. It had a bed, little wood burning stove, nice little table, a picture on the wall at the end there. So not too bad accommodations. You can see a little bedpan sitting on the floor there. This is looking out towards Green Street again. And here's back inside the assay lab. This really shows a whole view of the place in its entirety. A couple more of those little cupels there. And there's another look at the wash basin over there or a laundry machine really. We're now back in that center pantry area, and the hotel's overgone many revisions. There's looking into that kitchen doorway up on the left. And so the center section of the Bodie Hotel actually has this sort of room that's just walled off. There didn't seem to be anything in it. This is looking inside that. On the other side of this wall is a hallway that goes into the hotel, and then around the corner to the side here, the other side of that wall is the kitchen, straight ahead, and the other side of that wall right there is the main dining hall. So I guess when they remodeled it, this center space was just kind of walled off and used as storage. You could tell off of the 2x4s that it probably happened post 30s, thereabouts. They used cloth and cardboard as insulation on the walls. That's looking back into the kitchen. You can see the water boiler tank right there. And here's another view of the kitchen. To the right of me here, there's a set of stairs, and this is the top of the stairs. So you can actually, we're looking forward of the hotel into the attic space, and there's a side room here. This is sort of walking in there. The floor was very, it seemed like it wanted to give at any moment, so we're walking kind of carefully in here. Here's a little closet for that bedroom. Looking inside. Nice tin paneling all throughout. And a lone light socket there. This is looking out on Green Street from the second floor. And for some reason the mattress is just lying on the floor, no bed frame here. Remnants of a vacuum tube radio and a roll top desk here. And there's another room right across this little hallway. And again, sort of a mirror image of the room on the other side. This one has a bed frame at least. This window here goes into the attic space of that addition that we were in downstairs. So it sort of looks into an attic. And it has its own little closet as well. After this, headed back downstairs and out to Main Street, and that was it for our tour of the Bodie Hotel. Absolutely phenomenal experience. Very cool to see the inside. I've always wanted to go inside, and it was just amazing to be able to do so. I'd like to thank all the people that were involved. That's the ranger and the park service that allowed myself and several others to go through and just take a look at the amazing things in there. This will also be part of a series of videos. I'm going to show some of the other harder to reach and off-limits parts of the Bodie Park. So look forward to that in several videos to come.